Hi everybody, this is Jacinda from EyeSpySupply. Today I'd like to take a little time, now that we have your iSpy Professional Grade Wi-Fi camera hooked up to your phone, I thought we'd spend a little time talking about how the app works and some things that you can use. Alright, the first thing you need to do is you need to go and open up your Pro Icam app. You should see your camera there and it should say that it's online. The first thing I thought we'd do today is to set the date and time stamp. That way anytime your camera records, you can see at the bottom exactly what day and what time it was that it recorded. So you're going to go to that circle, that wheel shape that's called the gear, it looks like a gear, and you're going to hit Advanced Config. Then you're going to go to Time Setting. And you see at the top it says current time, and it's probably not right. So two down from that, you'll see time zone. You need to go to time zone and choose your time zone. Okay? Then you want to hit device time sync with app after you find your time zone. And you'll see it's spinning, it's thinking about it for a minute. And now that it's going to give you a time up there that says the date and the time. If it's not correct and it's off by an hour, you may need to mess with the daylight savings toggle button. If you live in an area that observes daylight savings, or if it is daylight savings time, you may need to mess with that just to make sure that you get the right time. All right, mine says the right time. So now I'm going to get out of that. And now you have your date and time stamp on anytime your camera records. I thought next let's go ahead and set up your SD card. You should have put your SD card into your camera when you got it. Now let's go ahead and figure out how you want to record. Now you have two options for recording. You can record continuously, which means your camera records all of the time, anytime it's plugged in, or you can set it to be motion activated. Let me show you how to do the continuous first. You go to SD card record config, and you'll see where it says record, and right now mine says record off. So I'm going to go to that and change it. You have four options, and you're going to pick record all day if you want it to record continuously. That's done, and now your camera is recording to your SD card. Now if you want it just to be motion activated, that means when somebody walks by, the camera comes on, then you need to change this to motion activated. So go back to that record, hit record when alarms. That changes that, and hit OK. And now we need to go to where it says alarm config. This is going to set up your sensitivity for your motion activated. So right now it says motion detection sensitivity is disabled up at the top. You want to change that. You click on that and it's going to give you a list of numbers 1 to 7 and then disabled. 1 is the most sensitive to the motion and 7 is the least sensitive. For today's purposes I'm going to pick 4, which is just normal. And then you hit OK. Now my camera is set up to be motion activated and to go and to set off anytime, come on anytime there's action or motion. All right, now when you bought your camera, you may have noticed that there was a small LED light that continually flashes. That's my camera telling me I have an alarm. Anyways, in order to turn that off, what you need to do, you can turn that off. You're on this advanced config screen still. You can go down to miscellaneous settings and it's going to say work LED flicker. And where you do there is you change that to off, and you no longer have that light. It's going to take a couple of minutes before it turns off, but now you no longer have that light that's flashing. All right, so that's just some simple basic things. Now let's talk about what you can do while you are viewing your actual camera. So you're going to go to your main screen, and let's click on our camera. This is what my camera is viewing right now. There's a couple of things on the screen that you can do. So once you tap on the screen, you'll see at the bottom and at the top different options. The one in the bottom corner there, if you tap on it, it's pointing to the right. It will flip the view of your camera. You can also turn the sound off and on. This means it's this button that looks like a speaker over here. If you turn that on, you can actually hear exactly what your camera is hearing remotely. You can also take a picture. So if you go to the one that looks like a camera, you can click on that, and it will take a picture and save it onto your SD card. You can also immediately decide if you want to take some footage, some video footage, and record. You can hit the one that looks like a camera. It says recording has started, and then you can turn it off. Okay, so those are some different things that you can do directly from here, remotely from your camera. All right, now, one of the best things about this camera is that you can actually view remotely the SD card, what your camera has recorded onto the SD card. Typically, when you have a camera, you have to take the SD card out, you have to put it in your computer, and then you can view your files from there. This camera actually allows you to remotely view what is on the SD card without having to take it out of the camera. So let's talk about how to do that. All right, so you're going to go back to your main screen here, the Pro Icam screen, and you're going to pick Record. All right, it's going to show you your camera, and it's going to show at the top Local. You're going to click on that Local button, and then you're going to hit Remote SD card. And that's the one that you're going to want to pick, and you click it, and then you're going to see a list of thumbnails there. Those are different things that your camera has recorded. You can click on one of those and remotely and immediately view what is saved onto your SD card. Great, great feature here on this phone. All right. Let's go back to the live video and talk about a couple of problems, one problem shooting thing that we might need to talk about. Sometimes when you're viewing your video live, it may be kind of choppy. That's typically because your resolution is high and your Wi-Fi is having a hard time supporting it. So if while you're viewing your camera remotely, it's kind of choppy, if you go up here to at the top, these are your options to lower or increase your resolution. 1080p is your highest resolution, 480p is your lowest, and you can choose from which one of these you want to get a clearer, less choppy picture. All right, the last thing I want to talk about here is at the top at the top of the camera, the top of your main screen, when you're viewing your camera, there may be some features and some options that possibly your model doesn't have. One of which would be night vision. We do sell cameras that have that, but this one does not. If you have any questions or you need anything, please feel free to contact us at EyeSpySupply. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.